Hey guys, how you doing? This is David, and I wanted to talk about a story that I read. I find it a bit odd. Ordinarily, this wouldn't be a serious thing. It wouldn't be a serious story at all. But you learn over time that people who have a history of lying, it just gets worse and worse and worse, right? So I've read several stories about this rep in New York, Santos, and he came out a day or two ago and said he had lied on his resume. And this guy is supposed to be sworn into Congress on the 3rd of January, which is only a week or so away. Um, Ordinarily, if somebody smudge jobs on their resumes to get a job or take a position, it's not a big deal. But I remember a situation that happened years ago where it turned out this guy was working for President Bush, he was head in charge of FEMA, and then Hurricane Katrina happened. And when Hurricane Katrina happened, they figured out that this guy who was head of FEMA didn't know what he was doing. He had lied on his resume, and basically at the end of the day, when those levees gave in and that city was flooded, it left thousands and thousands of people stranded, and many people died in that situation. That was all because this man lied on his resume, didn't know what he was doing, and the country couldn't respond. He took a position of power, and the country couldn't respond the way it needed to save those people. And unfortunately, this could happen to any community, but it happened in our community. And I really struggled with that. And over the years, all of us have told lies. We've done things we shouldn't have done, and life teaches you over time that it doesn't work out. Well, in this situation, it did work out for this guy. But unfortunately, before he's sworn in, we're finding out he's a liar. Does that mean he'll be a bad congressman? Not necessarily. But it tells us something about his character that he's willing to lie about small things. You give him power of Congress. What if he starts lying about big things? So, I don't know. In a situation like that, should they pull the plug and not let him go into Congress? Or should they let him go into Congress, serve his 2 years, and see how things work out? I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any legal precedents that he can't serve in Congress because he lied on his resume. I'm not sure. Um, but, you know, these kinds of things have happened to many people over the years. And would they hold other people responsible if if they found out that they had lied on their resume? Don't know. My problem with it is just simple. I wish they would hold people who are creating law in our country to a higher standard, um, especially in these high profile positions. And to be honest, I'm not a perfect guy. I've done things in my past, um, and I've been fired from jobs not jobs, but I was fired from a job for saying some things that probably shouldn't have been said. You know, I remember telling someone on a job one time when I was interviewing that I was going to get my master's degree. I was only one credit away from my master's degree. And I didn't get it that semester. I thought I'd pass the class and I'd get the degree, and I thought everything would work out fine. Well, they were waiting for the degree. I didn't get it on time. And so I lost that job, and it taught me a lesson. But still, even in that, I really think that was an excuse to get me up out of there. They didn't like me, and I didn't like them either. But even so, you learn over time that these things just don't work out. So I don't like the idea of giving someone that amount of power Congress is a big deal. So I'd like to know what you think about that. It just makes me feel uneasy. He's still a young guy. He's still going to do great. He's still going to, you know, have plenty of opportunity. Um, he embarrassed himself, yes. But even still, should we give him the keys to Congress in a situation like this? I have to say no. My gut feeling is that if someone tells us a thing and the people vote on that based on that thing and it turns out to be a lie, then they're trying to defraud the people. Whether they said it was intentional or not, they're trying to defraud somebody. And that's never good. Not in a position of power. Those are just my thoughts. I'd like to know yours.